Alright, I've never played this deck in multiplayer. We're going to give it a shot here today. Looks like I play second, and I'm against Gitrog Monster, Gerard Gogari, Lichlord, and Ghost Cancel of Orsava. So, I'm going to go ahead and keep this second hand here. It's got Counterspell, Factor Fiction, Preordain, Mana Ball, Into the Royal, couple lands. All pretty good stuff. Looks like I'm second to play. I haven't actually made any, I gotta turn this down a little bit, God. Till I collapse. It's a little bit too loud. I can't even hear my own voice. Kind of annoying. Um, so I haven't actually made tweaks to this deck yet to figure out how I want to play it in multiplayer, and I decided I'm just gonna play it and see what kind of things I want to do. Interesting gamble. I don't think I can afford to gamble with only a single other land in my hand right now. And getting the Mana Vault out quickly is obviously fairly good. There's something we said about the Preordain as well, but I could potentially even just use this to cast the Factor Fiction. So I'm going to go ahead and take the pain. Ouch. I'm going to play a Mana Vault. As far as threat assessment goes, I'm not as worried about Ghost Council of Orsova. Of the black-white commanders, it's really not that good. I can't even remember what it does. It's so bad. Enters the battlefield, 1 life, gain 1 life, sack a creature, exile it, return to the battlefield. Yeah, it's just not very good. Gitrog Monster obviously scares me more than Golgari Lichlord as far as who I would want to be aiming my hate at. It is just a combo machine, and it is built around that general very heavily. Gerard tends to be more, like a mid-range black-green good stuff type deck. And it kind of varies how good a Gerard deck is. It can either be very casual or very good, just depending on how they built it. This is just scarier in general. Now, since I'm very much built around controlling a single player and I'm not using Winter Orb or something like that, it'll be interesting to see just how I try to overrun this whole table with the kind of card advantage that I built to just beat a single player with. We'll see how it pans out. Okay. Okay, so we get a mountain off the top. I think the play here is simply pass now that I have that land. I kind of want to keep these low CC cards in my hand and potentially play Jori on my next turn and immediately draw a card off of her. I kind of just plan on playing the Pactor Fiction here and digging a little deeper into my deck. But I want to keep the Counterspell, and there's an Entomb. So possibly very good that I kept this Counterspell open. Into the Royal is also an option depending on what he's planning to... Ooh, it's a Life from the Loam. I guess it doesn't surprise me. But the jig is up. He is definitely playing Degenerate Dredge deck. And not only is that deck very scary and fast, on MTGO it takes forever to resolve the combo. So I very, very much don't want to have to deal with him. Mesmeric Orb. Milling my own stuff in this deck is actually not very good, and I have a feeling it's not bad for the Gerard deck. So this is not something I'm incredibly happy to see, but at the same time, I don't think it's worth using the single counterspell I have in my hand. We're going to go ahead and let it resolve. It's possibly going to be annoying, but I am playing Time Spiral, I think at least. I think I'm playing Spiral Twister and Wheel, actually. So I can always shuffle my yard back in, including his. And Soul Ring. Lots of good things, but this deck is just a little bit too scary right now for me to be able to use the counterspell on the Soul Ring like I normally would in a 1-versus-1 match. So I'm also just going to let this resolve as well. I kind of need to save this for threatening cards. I can't really use it as mana denial. So I'm going to go ahead and run out the Factor Fiction. I'm going to target this Orsava. I've only played basic lands player. Okay, Sensei's Divining Top is pretty excellent. If that's in the 3-card pile, that's easy take no matter what else is in the pile. I kind of want the island. This deck is mostly blue. I would take island top. Puts the ponder with the mountain. I think for sure if he leaves it like this, it's obviously the 3-card pile. It's not even close. He's going to put the island with the ponder. Puts the peak with the ponder. Well, I'm going to go ahead and obviously choose the first pile here. 3 cards as well as the top. Mill a card. Okay, plus my gamble is a whole lot better now. So that is a thing. Cycles Corrosin Tusker. Okay, I'm okay with this. Nope, not going to pay for you. Ooh, we drew a Force of Will. Well, alright, that means we don't have to keep this counter spell up. I kind of want to get the... I want to put the island down because I don't want to play a mountain. I'm going to run out the gamble. Actually, let's make sure that I get the top down. And then we'll fetch. And we'll get a volcanic. And we'll run this gamble out. And hopefully not lose the force. And we'll just try to develop our mana a little bit here and grab our own Soul Ring. Where is our friend Soul Ring? Hopefully this isn't our version of Entomb. And we lose a mountain. That is exactly what I wanted to lose. So, Soul Ring. And now we've got Force to defend against Degeneracy. We've developed our mana. We've got top ready to engine with our general. We're not in a horrible defensive position anymore. And he hasn't accelerated yet, so he's not getting a faster Gitrog monster off. He's just going to go ahead and loan back lands. Okay. Just continue to dredge away. I'm not playing Commemorative Mana cost 1 or 0 Graveyard Hate in this deck, though it actually would be probably fairly effective, just considering how easy it would be to draw cards with the commander from that position. Since I'm going to untap 3 permanents, there's actually no point in spinning the top since I kind of don't want to lose it. I guess I could take a peek in that there's a chance that the card is better than top, but at the same time I don't actually want to be milling a bunch of my cards since some of them are harder to pick back up than it would be to just tutor them out of the deck initially just because there's more pieces. So I'm just going to kind of sit here and not activate my top this turn at least. This card is actually beginning to be quite annoying, so if I run the Jori out, there's a good chance I just simply bounce it because I just don't want to deal with it anymore unless someone plays something more threatening. Though we are getting to the point in the game where that's probably going to happen. But that card is just incredibly annoying. Most of my decks I actually kind of like seeing that when you're playing, Past in Flames and Storm, and they're just setting up your deck to instantly win with Yawgmoth's Will. I usually have absolutely no problem with someone playing something like that. And this Orsava deck has done absolutely nothing, and opts not even to play their general, which is just odd. So we're just going to mill 3. There goes my Mind's Desire. The Time Twister that would have shuffled stuff back in. So I guess I don't really want Mind's Desire at this point in the game. I didn't really need to twister the stuff that was already in there, but so I guess it's not necessarily bad cards to be binning. And I would much rather have a Cryptic Command in general. So I could have flopped top there, but I kind of want to run the Preordain out, and I still have this Force up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I could actually... No, I don't want to do it yet. I just want to Preordain and Cantrip. So extra card off Preordain, got my General out. And there's an easy extra card on my next turn via the Mox Opal. The Future Sight is definitely very good, but it costs a lot more. And there's going to be doing so much stuff right now. It's kind of hard to pass it up considering I'm going to need lots of card advantage to win this game. So I think the craft could be better. Though it does give me something decent to do on my turn. No, I'm just going to be playing the top, and I have the Sensei Design Top plus Future Sight combo, making the Jori almost irrelevant at this point. I can't not take Future Sight with top. It's just too good from this position. I can, however, opt to play this Mox Opal since I intend on playing this next turn anyway. I do have Metalcraft, and it will put my my counter spell and my Into the Royal online for other turns. So I'm going to go ahead and actually run the Opal out early. And as far as attacks go, the Gitrog monster... Oh no, I just ran the Jori out this turn, that's right. No chat from my opponents as of yet. Demonic Tutor, I'm glad that he lost that. The Great Aurora. Well, he hasn't really put tokens into play. I have tons of permanents. I'm really interested as to how he thinks the Great Aurora is good in his Gitrog monster deck. Not quite sure. I guess he has played mostly basics as well. Okay, here comes Mana Crypt. Sure. Don't really want to force any of those cards away, even though I've got plenty of pitch. I like that Into the Royal actually deals with onboard permanents. I think I'm just going to counterspell this incoming Gitrog monster, which is pretty much a no-brainer, at least for me. And he pauses like it's surprising that I left the 2 mana open and chose to counter the most obvious scary thing from any player thus far. He's unhappy. And possible rage quit. Counterspell. Target player loses the game in multiplayer. Pretty good. And there's his land follow-up. I actually think maybe he actually calmed down, since I kind of explained that counterspelling Gitrog Monster in this situation is not a bad thing, considering it's obviously, from my perspective, the scariest thing out on the board. He has a mana crypt, so he's obviously leading mana-wise. His general is obviously a combo engine. Then again, that is the thing with multiplayer games on MTGO. Half the players rage when you use any form of control on them. If you do not let them just goldfish their deck, you have done something wrong. And if your deck goldfishes faster than theirs, you have similarly done something wrong. Yavimaya Elder. I wonder if this guy chose not to cast his command or anything just because he didn't want to get mesmeric orbed or something. I am truly interested to know what's going on here. I'm actually going to untap for 6 cards. So I think the plan is let all the mesmeric orb triggers go and then flip top. And then play future top and sit on the Force of Will again. Hopefully finding a land. And Faceless Butcher. So this card is obviously going to be aimed at my Jori N. However, since my plan is now just simply future top, that's not that scary to me. I don't really want to burn the Force of Will on that. I'm just going to go ahead and lose the Jori and put it back to my command zone. There's no problem with that. Man, he's raging. So no reason to flip the top anymore. Just going to go ahead and bin cards here. Ooh, mana drain. So multiple counter spells, losing some really good cards. Oh, I guess Candelabra isn't a horrible card to lose, but I guess there's a better chance that I actually just get a land off the top, which isn't so bad. Snapcaster Mage is pretty decent with a full yard. Especially since I just dumped a mana drain. I'm going to go ahead and run out the future sight and hope to find a land. A snap. I think it's worth drawing snap and trying to find a land drop off the top. Sapphire Medallion. Well, at this point, we won't be casting anything else anyway. So we're going to go ahead and also draw the Sapphire Medallion. Gilded Lotus, no land still. Alright. So we'll be losing the Gilded Lotus to this Mesmeric Orb. Unless someone else decides to kill it. Not a huge deal. If we really need to shuffle, we could use a Snapcaster Mage on the timetwister. Though I don't really want to be doing that. The Sapphire Medallion is especially disgusting in this deck, as with most decks that are mostly blue. And snapping Gitrog wouldn't be horrible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If he makes his land drop, which he obviously will with Loam, he'll only have one land in addition after he plays Gitrog. So I don't think he can just instantly go off. So I'm kind of tempted to hold the force for any kind of follow-up he would have. And then just simply snap it back to his hand after playing the Sapphire Medallion. Which will cost a total of 3 mana and then untap 2, so it really only costs 1 to play both of these cards. Honestly, unless it's a game-ending spell or something that's going for my future sight from this position, I think that's what my Force of Will has to be saved to do. I pretty much have to defend my future sight or stop game-ending plays, and Gitrog at this point, increasing ambition. Not worth countering, for sure. Perhaps he's just going to get a Nature's Claim to kill the future sight. That would be a pretty good idea, I think. I would definitely Force of Will that. The Into the Royal is the worst card in my hand currently for the pitch. Though Cryptic Command is actually quite expensive at triple blue. Despite being a 2-for-1, I already have kind of infinite cards. So that's also a potential pitch card. Just simply because I could cast this for 1. But this is just a stronger card in general than this. So he tutors and plays a land and doesn't kill anything. Still looking like the scariest player. Leaving open Snapcaster and a Mana Drain only costs 3 blue. Okay, so 6/6 reach, Monstrosity 3. Not something I'm especially worried about right now. But like I was saying, it only takes 3 to hold open Snapcaster Mage into the Mana Drain. And Though part of me doesn't like that because I do actually want to be able to shuffle my yard against this annoying ass. I think this is the best this card's ever done against me in maybe the last 20 or 30 times I've played against it. Because I've played against this card quite frequently. It's usually either very, very good for me or does nothing of significance. But it's actually annoying me, to say the least. It's not necessarily done anything horrible as of yet, but it's limiting my lines of play, which doesn't make me happy. Then again, if he hadn't have played it, I wouldn't even have the option to snapcaster a mana drain, right? So I shouldn't be complaining, I guess. What are you dumping? A bunch of high-costing, random EDH staple-ish stuff? Okay. Shieldred. Yeah, these two decks are fairly casual. This guy's really the only one I'm actually worried about right now. Deathrite Shaman, Demonic Tutor. I mean, Increasing Ambition isn't super, super scary. But when you're dredging, I guess it's not necessarily bad either. Destroy all artifacts and all enchantments. That absolutely cannot happen. So Force of Will down. But it did its job dodging a spell that would have absolutely blown me out of the water. And he is coming at me. I have officially scared them with this deck. And there is the Nature's Claim, which he did in fact tutor. Good play him. So now I am in a very precarious situation, being teamed. I wonder if he smelt the Force of Will there. But yes, I am being hated from at least two sides at this point. We'll see if the Gerard player is the one who ends up benefiting. And what are we losing? Anticipate, Hercule's Recall, Lightning Bolt, Rewind, and there's my land finally. Of course it would. No. Two in a row, okay. I like lands. So I kind of need my draw engine back online now to get moving. So I'm going to have to pay 5 to get Jori in back out. Which is more than a little precarious for me. And I'm going to actually, I think, just run out the Sapphire Medallion and try to get back into this game here a little bit. Actually, keeping the basic open is better. I think this guy's definitely running Wasteland. So we'll just go Sapphire Medallion to draw an extra card. Temporal Fissure. Okay. Going to be more difficult to use that effectively in multiplayer as well, but it's still not horrible. We've now got Snap Up, as well as Snapcaster Mage into any one blue card. We've at least got Mana Leak. Anticipate. because we would obviously cantrip off of Snapcaster Mage. But then if we use the Snapcaster Mage, obviously one of the issues there is that in using the Snapcaster Mage, we'd lose access to the more powerful cards that we'd want to cast off. And we are very much playing from behind here. I could attempt to, if I don't dump the Time Spiral, I could attempt to build Storm and Snapcaster my Mind's Desire. That wouldn't be a completely horrible line of play. Because the Sensei's Divining Top is going to be a card draw engine for me, flipping it to get an extra card off Jori this single time, if I decide to just play the Snap, isn't very enticing either. So down comes Gitrog Monster would be my assumption. Places land first and fetches. It actually might be better to not bounce it and let him put the target on his own head. Not quite sure. Double increasing ambition. Alright. That's also a thing. Considering Snap ramps me mana, I don't actually have incentive to use it before my next turn, especially if the plan could possibly be Mind's Desire. By the same vein, it doesn't really matter to spend top because of that annoying fucking Mesmeric Orb, which makes the top's card crafting ability fairly useless at this point, considering I don't want to concede mana to use it. Though, Temporal Fissure is honestly not an excellent line, and neither at this point is keeping up Cryptic Command. So I guess there's some merit in spending it. Then again, considering I want to flip it to just draw an extra card, I could always spin it after the cantrip, and then I'll be 2 cards deeper. And I'll actually be able to maybe find something that's good. Wondering what the guy got with his double tutor. It definitely makes me think that twistering all my good stuff back into my deck, getting rid of his double tutor is not a bad play, for sure. Let's see if this guy considers me a larger threat or him. Maybe he's just going to play Gerard to start getting some sacrifice going. Blighted Woodland. I don't even know what that is. What is a Blighted Woodland? So it's similar to, it's like a non-tap land version of a card I'm using, an Omnath Locus of Rage, Myriad Landscape. That's not bad, actually. I could even use that if I wanted to. I kind of like the picture, too. It's got like a little tiny hut up on that that fallen tree. Eternal Witness. The Twister actually doesn't look so bad here. The Snap would make the Snapcaster free, so it'd pretty much essentially just be, 1, 2, floating 1 to play it. Living Death. That seems absolutely horrible. Uh, that's so horrible. Oh my god. Oh, that is such a beating. Can I deal with living death? The force of will is already gone. Um, let's go ahead and snap Jori back to our own hand. And then we'll search with top. Actually, no, we can just use Snapcaster Mage to counter it now. We have to do that. So he's going to scry his team away, which is perfectly fine with me. Though our now previous plan of using the Snapcaster Mage to get anywhere has gone down the drain, obviously, as we cannot allow living death to resolve. The third player has now done his job of straining my resources. However, a simple mana leak should take care of this card. So I'm going to go ahead and go get mana leak. And no living death. You know, I'm thinking it was a massive mistake to not just deal with his Mesmeric Orb at the start of the game with this deck. It's just caused me headaches to absolutely no end. Well then. At this position, I think my best play is let the Mesmeric Orb dump cards. Flip top, Jorian into top. Just keep digging. What I need is Time Spiral. I need to get these cards back into my deck. And then I need tempo as well. Extra turns actually wouldn't be horrible from this position, but I'm still dealing with the fucking Mesmeric Orb then. I wonder what he's going to get rid of with the Stonecloaker. Is he targeting me? No, he's targeting Avenger Zendikar. Interesting. I don't really think that's the scariest thing to Stonecloak away here, and considering that card has Flash. Oh, he wants to return the Faceless Butcher. Okay, that seems good. Then again, if he doesn't plan on playing it, I don't know why he didn't keep his Instant Speed Graveyard Hate in his hand against two Graveyard decks, which have massively huge graveyards at this point. That just seems kind of silly, to be honest. So let's watch what we lose here. Young Pyromancer. That's okay. Turnabout. Mox Diamond. Island. Nothing too exciting. Mystical Tutor. That would have been very nice, obviously. And a time warp. So hits a couple good cards right there at the end. We'll just flip the top. And there's an extra turn spell. Excellent. I can work with that. So Jori now just costs 2. And then extra turn. Draws me an extra card. That guy's continuing to rage, which is perfectly fine by me. And actually, this Mana Crypt gives me an opening to get rid of that annoying as shit Mesmeric Orb. And I'm in fact just going to do that. Because it's just a pain in the ass. And at the same time, since this guy is raging, I'm just going to bounce a bunch of his lands. Not even worth it. At this point, Cryptic Command's just bouncing Snapcaster Mage, and we're going to draw 7. Goody. One of the many reasons I love recording live games. The many jackasses who decide, hey, I don't like how this game's going. I'm just going to waste everyone's time. Thank you, good sir. Oh, dear Lord. And this player scoops due to this guy's bad manners. One guy wants to eject me with his bad deck, which is really not that surprising. We'll swing at that guy, and he'll waste more time. Thanks. Well then, I'd like to see how this game ends, but apparently I've done too many things to Captain Dumbass over here. Come on. Alrighty. Well, I think I'm just going to end the video here. I'll let you know in the comments whether I got kicked or these guys stuck. Oh, here we go. He's gonna let me go. Okay, maybe he's just trying not to lose to the 10-minute timer and waste a full 25 minutes. At this point, it's hard to say. Possibly just spite time wasting. So I'm going to end my video here. Unfortunately, you won't get to see the magical ending, but I'll tell you how it ends. But yeah, this was Jori's first run in multiplayer, and it looks like I'm going to win the game. At least position-wise, I'm finally in the best position for the first time of the game. Well, maybe not the first time of the game, but the first time I felt I'm in a truly dominating position. And I think that I can easily win once I hate their graveyards, refill my hand, get back all my good cards, get their good cards out of their hand, and having a just better board state. I think I'll be in a good position to win because honestly, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get the twister off. I'm going to have at least my land drop for turn, and I'm also going to have opal mana, so there's a very good chance I have a counter spell if I don't hit an extra turn or a Mind's Desire or a Time Spiral or something that just instantly wins off of the twister. I have very good odds of being able to counter them from a strong position with a brand new hand. But yeah, we're going to end it for now because he's obviously just trying to spite me because honestly I don't know why. He just doesn't like not getting to goldfish. I'm not sure. Moxnick signing out.